What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It's time now for the Saturday edition of the Pandemic Update for Saturday, October 28th, 2023. That's right, it is Halloween weekend. It's one of the most riskiest weekends of the year. There's several of them, and this is one of them. Halloween parties. Maybe some people are doing Halloween trick-or-treating early. Some places do it early. There's trunk or treat. There's bobbing for apples. There's going to pick pumpkins. All that Halloweeny stuff that happens this weekend. And of course, Halloween itself falls Tuesday, which is the day of where a lot of people will give out candy to kids. I've seen kids coughing their heads off. I've seen kids with that, sick cough. I witnessed it just recently. It's out there. So it's concerning. And you know what comes after this? Winter comes. Now, it may not feel like winter where you are, or maybe it does. If the cold front, there's a big cold front in the United States. If it's come through your area, it's very cold behind it. Up in the plains, there were single digits and teens this morning. And there were some places that are seeing snow. There could be the first football game with snow tomorrow. So the colder weather's coming. You know what I'm leading up to. Winter transmission of COVID. When everyone locks inside and is crowded together. Yeah, it's coming. It's going to be starting up pretty soon. It's going to get bad. Speaking of bad, some things are already bad, and this is really concerning. We're going to be looking at a lot of data today. And the first thing we're going to look at is this. This is from Twitter. For the second consecutive week, Italy records almost 200 deaths from COVID-19. These are the highest values in the last 6 months. Yet, almost no one seems to care. Hold that thought on no one seeming to care. Let's come to the United States. We didn't show you this earlier in the week. I forgot to. It's fine. We showed a lot of other things, but I need to bring this to your attention. And I briefly mentioned this number yesterday when we did our rant session, and quite frankly, this may be a little bit of a rant itself. New deaths. Look at that. 1,603 new deaths in the previous week. We'll get another number for this week tomorrow night, but there's still 1,600 deaths. The summer wave has ended, folks. We're in the transition from summer over to the winter wave. I mean, deaths should have already started falling. They're not dropping yet. They're still high right now. This is just not good. And quite frankly, 199,625 cases in the in-between period is not good. And we know a percentage of that will get long COVID. Let's just say maybe it's 10,000 a week getting long COVID from the reported cases, not including the cases that don't get reported. So we could add another 10,000 there. Let's just say 20,000 people a week right now are getting long COVID. That's really bad, my friends. And 1,600 deaths still occurring when the media hardly ever mentions COVID. Everyone thinks it's over. That is totally unacceptable. Remember, COVID has 4 seasons. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. And yet here we lie with the worst of COVID yet to come, which is always the winter wave, and yet whatever was left of summer going into fall spit out another 1,600 deaths in the United States. I'm concerned that we will see another period at some point during the winter wave that could touch 2,000 deaths a week. Not good. Not good at all. All right, moving on to this. Rachel Maddow, from MSNBC. Apparently she has a new book going on. She's really popular with MSNBC. I'll be honest with you, I don't watch MSNBC a lot. I don't watch cable news too much anymore. News Nation is the one that I watch sometimes anymore. But the point I'm trying to make here is Rachel Maddow has tested positive for COVID. Apparently she has a new book. And all these book signings and appearances that she was supposed to make, they are put on hold right now. So that's, Rachel Maddow, positive for COVID. And we're just going to read a headline here because we have a lot of data to get through. Hearing loss related to COVID-19 infection. We've seen several people. I believe it was Paul Simon, hearing loss. And I believe Celine Dion. Can that be linked to a COVID infection? I don't know. Have they had COVID? I don't remember off the top of my head. But the point is there have been instances since the start of the pandemic of celebrities having hearing loss, and apparently it is a thing, sadly enough. Taking a look now at air qualities, you're going to see a mixed bag of things here. The East Coast, you would expect to see some yellow because it's just so darn warm. It's not supposed to be in the mid 80s in October. It's 82 here in Philadelphia. Maybe down in Florida, yes, but up into the Northeast, no. And believe it or not, Minneapolis, bad air quality's there. Look at the West Coast. Just widespread yellow, oranges, even some maroons and purple. Not good on the West Coast. The only place that has good air quality is the Four Corners region, and even at that, Denver still has some poor air quality. Interior New England and interior upstate New York is not that bad. Michigan's not that bad. So you're good there. You can breathe easy there, but for a lot of the rest of the country, it's not good. Florida, okay, not doing terrible. I see a couple of orange stations there. Don't know what that's about. Moving on, we do still have to take a look at heat-related illnesses just because there's still this round of unusually warm weather that's ongoing right now. But trust me, there is colder weather in the plains. If you're in the plains like Chicago right now, you know what's coming. You know it's getting cold. It's going to be cold in the Northeast this week, too. Some places are going to see their first snow showers. Heat-related illnesses. Four Corners, it's still a thing. Florida, look at this. There's still a strip in Florida. Still a couple counties even up to Pennsylvania. And look up near Boston. Still a couple counties there as well. I think that's going to be eradicated going into the next, but I don't know because it's still warm today. That may factor into the next update. I'm not even certain which days this updates anymore. It says October 23rd, so maybe it'll update on Mondays. All the data keeps getting changed so darn much anymore. Taking a look at Walgreens this week, the national positivity at Walgreens this week is 26.4%. The prior week was 25.8%. That was up by 0.7%. We're not going to do much in the way with wastewater today. We won't take a look at any of these wastewater scan sites because we're doing a Sunday wastewater update tomorrow. Don't need to show you this. We showed you that the other day. But one thing I will just show you here real quickly is I refreshed this earlier thinking maybe it would get better. We still don't have these Ohio sites. I don't know what the deal is with that. And you will notice there are less red sites this week. We'll get a deep dive into wastewater tomorrow with the Sunday wastewater update. Very important that we do update on this. COVID variants. HV.1, my friends, now dominates in the United States at 25.2%. Then comes EG.5 at 21.9%. FL151, 12%, and XBB 116.6 is at 9.2%. At some point, you don't see it here yet, at some point we will see JN.1 enter this picture, probably mid to late November, based on estimates that I'm seeing right now. The more I see about JN.1, the more it's sounding like it's eventually could become a wave of its own right around the Christmas, New Year's holidays. So we'll have to watch that. Hospital admissions over the past week, they actually didn't drop. They actually went up a little bit. 16,186, an ever so slight increase. Again, more proof that we're transitioning into the winter wave. Hospitalizations in New Jersey, 455, 23 on a ventilator. 65 people in the ICU. Discharges, 85 discharges in New Jersey at this time. Let's take a look at Philadelphia. I don't like reporting this. 818 EMS incidents yesterday. Again, it's unusually warm here, but I don't think that's why it was up yesterday. I think it was just a busy day. We were watching the Philadelphia suburbs lately have busy days. Let's check in right now with Montgomery County. 10 EMS calls. That's not terrible. I am seeing altered mental status, multiple respiratory calls, multiple cardiac calls. How about what's going on in Chester County, Pennsylvania, which is just to the west of Montgomery County, to the southwest of it. It's also a Philadelphia suburb. We're seeing respiratory difficulty. We're seeing heart problems. I'm seeing stroke. Sick person. Yes, there are some calls there as well. Again, not terrible, but for Chester County, this is considered busy for Saturday standards. That's for sure. New York State, 1,727 new positive cases on the most recent update. New York State wide. Look at this. Hospitalizations, they didn't really drop that much this week. In fact, if anything, they're running higher than they were for the majority of last week, and that's not good. 1,308 people in the hospital. It's a similar deal in New York City with hospitalizations, not really dropping that much anymore. Chicago, 13 daily average hospitalizations. Hospital beds and use is down by 1.2%. Emergency room visits, 0.9%. Laboratory confirmed cases, 100. That is up a little bit. Deaths are up a little bit as well. 1.14 is the daily average. And vaccinations administered, that is down ever so slightly. Continuing on, Texas this week. Current week's cases, 9,144. The previous week was 10,088. That's down by 944. But again, hospitalizations were up ever so slightly, up by 35, 1,033 versus 998. Deaths were down by 22, 52 versus 74. Now moving on to Massachusetts. 10.9% of all emergency department visits were for some sort of acute respiratory disease. So that's not good to see. Moving on to Washington State. COVID-19 percent of emergency department visits were actually down 24%, and percent of hospital admissions for COVID were down 32%. Influenza was actually up this week. It says up by 100%. COVID-19, or excuse me, yes, COVID-19 beds occupied, 25. Influenza, less than 10. And we can see here, influenza changed from previous week, up by 1. COVID-19 down by 8. So Washington, at this time, is not doing bad for COVID. Slight, ever so slight increase in flu. What's going on in Colorado this week? Well, here you go. Colorado, look at the chart. Hospitalizations, they're still rising. They're rising again. I mean, they had a brief drop on the 10th, and then it rose again on the 17th, and it rose again in this week's update. 236 people in the hospital. How about Los Angeles? What's going on there? We're watching the positivity rate. It's bouncing around a little bit. It was dropping steadily, but now it's starting to go up a little bit. It's bouncing. You can see it's bouncing off the bottom. Eventually, that's going to be a sustained rise. Hospitalizations. We can actually zoom in here. It's not dropping all that fast. That's not good to see. Deaths, again, they're bouncing as well. I'm concerned, my friends. Deaths, like I said earlier in this video, you can see here, take a look at this. Here we go again. The positivity rate in LA looks like it's around 8% or so right now. Taking a look at California in general, test positivity bouncing off the bottom. Deaths, they have dropped a little bit. New hospital admissions in California. It looks like they're bouncing. It looks like they may bounce up pretty soon. So that's not good. But again, I'm concerned about deaths all across the United States. They're not really dropping all that much. You would expect to see a bigger drop now, but we're still at elevated levels of COVID in the United States. And if that's where we're going to start off for the winter wave, that is not good. All right, let's do a little bit of an international update real quickly, and then that will be it for today's update. Actually, no, we do want to take a look at this week's flu update as well. Brazil, cases up 7%, deaths down 22%. Russia, cases up 18%, deaths down 16%. Italy, cases down 36%. Disregard this deaths number because we showed you at the beginning of the video. We can go back to that. There were 196 deaths in Italy this week. So quite frankly, this cases number, that could be inaccurate as well. Singapore, cases up 16%, no deaths reported. Then we come down here to, let's see, where do we want to go next? Bulgaria, cases down 12%, deaths up 36%. New Zealand, cases down 56%, deaths down 57%. India, whoa, what's going on here? Suddenly you're seeing a 579% increase in cases. 1,385 versus 204. Not good to see. Hong Kong, cases now down 36%, deaths up 17%, and we will do one more. Thailand, cases are up 54%, 191 versus 124. 3 deaths versus 3 deaths, that's flat. Finally, today we close with this. Influenza is now high in Alaska. It's now moderate in Florida. There are some places that are moderate. It's moderate in New Mexico. almost moderate in Wyoming, and then we have a lot of levels that are low, and there are still quite a few minimal levels. I suspect after this cold snap that is going to be coming in to a large portion of the country, that is going to increase the influenza levels and ultimately probably COVID as well. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's pandemic update. We will have the wastewater update tomorrow. And of course, I just want to end on this. If you're going to do any Halloween celebrations this weekend, or even on Halloween itself, please do so safely. I know you should wear a mask for Halloween, like a costume or something. How about you wear the N95 and maybe you decorate it with something? Do something like that. I mean, please, mask up if you're going to do anything. Because right now, like I said, we're still at elevated levels. Deaths are not really dropping all that much. It's concerning. If this is where we're starting off for the winter wave, it's not good. That means we're going to get really bad, and the media is not reporting on it. That's where I come into play. I'm the one sitting here still giving you the updates, just like, how you get world news. You got me. That's what it is, and we need to see things get better, and unfortunately, it's not. There's going to be a post-Halloween surge. There's just no doubt about it. There's too many people that are out there sick, mixing and mingling with each other, and it's going to really surge this weekend. Alrighty, folks, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone that needs to see this content, by all means, hit that share button and share this with them. I will see you tomorrow for the wastewater update tomorrow afternoon. I'll see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.